Okay, let's do the audio check.
Yes, check.
Check.
Checking
Yeah, seems good to me.
the goods. Yeah, man, check the
Where's the
goods.
remote?
Oh,
Okay, cool.
yes.
Well, hello there my fellow Doombots, and welcome to another episode of DOOMVIEW Spoiler Talk. And this time I'm joined by a really special guest, Doombot. You can introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Doombot, and I'm the beta version for the Doombot 16, so I'm Doombot 15.156.
Okay, so I guess I'm being replaced, Dr. Doom. Thanks for not letting me know. I also want to thank our Supreme Leader Doom for mentioning this YouTube channel in his latest broadcast for 100k subscribers. But I'm Doombot 15, and here we got Doombot 15 Beta. Today we're going to be talking about Sinners, right?
Yes, we are about to talk about the movie that is both very well renowned for its cultural and thematic display.
I really enjoyed this film, and I already made a spoiler-free review yesterday, but today I really want to talk spoilers with my fellow Doombot. But yeah, so if you have not seen this movie yet, I most highly recommend that you go watch this one, because I thought this was really great. What did you think of the film?
It was honestly like the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread. Like really, the whole thing is just like so well put together. Like at the first half of the movie, I could only hear this one soundtrack with the bass and the banjo, and it just really set.
The music was great.
Yeah, the music was great, especially if you do not know anything about the movie beforehand.
You went in blind?
I went in completely blind. I raw dogged the whole thing.
Same
like,
for me.
Yeah.
Like this movie has a twist halfway through it. I knew that there was something going on, but I didn't know specifically. What was going on in the film. But when the twist is revealed, for me it was a surprise, and for you as well.
Definitely. I really did not expect the whole vampire zombie thing going on. I mean, I did see like the guy walking towards the hut of that couple, that southern couple.
Yeah, Remick.
Yeah, Remick, yeah. He was going on with his skin burning. I thought he was poured acid, you know. He had acid poured on his skin.
I was already speculating that it was gonna be, that Remick was going to be a vampire. And that was because, of course, the son, and he was like being chased by those Native Americans on the horses. And then he went into the house because he gave them a piece of gold, and that's how he tricked them. That's kind of maybe also something symbolic, that you're tricked to let somebody into your house only for riches. But it turned out that the people, because now we're just going a little bit on a spoiler rant, it turned out that the people that he went into the house with, they were members of the KKK, or at least their father was the person who sold the bar to Stack and Smoke, played by Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he was like the grand wizard of the KKK, right?
Yeah. He was like the head of the whole KKK thing, Later on in the movie, you don't know this beforehand, but like the KKK and vampires have no connection whatsoever. Like everything is coincidental. At first you like see the guy saying like, oh, the KKK doesn't exist, and then they give you little nuggets as the movie goes on.
Yeah, because the guy who sells it to them, because I think Smoke or Stack warns him, like, if I see any of you and your KKK buddies, then we're gonna shoot them over the spot. He's like, oh,
yeah,
well, there ain't no KKK out here anymore. But it turns out that he's like the leader of it. But before we get into that subplot, because that's something that's like towards the ending of the film, I also want to talk about, like, I really enjoyed the film. You really enjoyed the film. I think we both, because the music was great. It looked really good. Like it really looked like it was in the 1930s. And just overall with the performances.
Yeah, it could even pass before then, because
like without the vampire thing, it would have also worked, right?
Yeah, indeed. Without the vampire thing, it could also work. Because I thought it was about the olden times, Jim Crow times.
Yeah.
Of like black gangsters, you know, of the African American gangsters.
And Stack and Smoke, they both are gangsters because they were in Chicago and they ripped off the Italian and I think the Irish mob.
Yeah, they worked
That's
for
how they
Al
got the
Capone.
money.
Yeah, they worked for Al Capone.
Did they say Al Capone?
Oh yeah, I heard they worked for Al Capone. Yeah, and in Chicago, and going through that whole debacle with their own thing, like they went to the army.
They also went to the army. Yeah, because I know that Smoke was a soldier. He called himself Soldier Boy.
Yeah, in the trenches of Germany. So it's
really?
also World War One ties. They say trenches in Germany, so it was in World War One in 1914 to 1918. Yeah, they did mention that in the trenches of Germany, and he also said in the streets of Chicago. They both went through both.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, there's historical connections between those two and their experiences and how they slowly accumulated the wealth.
Like, well, I think they came back to America and then they went to Chicago and then they robbed the two different mobster sides and the gangster sides.
Yeah.
And that's how they got the wealth. But yeah, a little bit about the characters' backstory. They were both in the war. Stack and Smoke were both in the war, and they were both gangsters. Now they're trying to, like in a way, like Rick Ross would say, buy back the block, right? Buy back the block, that you can just the place that you grew up in, you can make it so that it's better for your people. Because the reason they're buying this bar, I think, it is for their people, so that you know. Black people, they have a place to go to after work and they don't have to go to a white-owned establishment.
Yes.
That's why they went back, right? Or was there something else that I missed there?
No, they went back to enrich their hometown, to go back to make the community better, to free the community. Like they said, they keep throwing the theme of freedom around as well, because there are still black people still working in the cotton fields, working for scraps.
They're working for scraps,
yes,
of course.
For a white
It was in the
boss
Depression in the 1930s, Mississippi. It's taking place,
Yeah.
And he's like hiring all of the people he knew. He hires Cornbread, who is literally picking cotton.
Yeah.
He hires the old jazz musician. I forget his name right now.
He was fun to watch.
He was really good.
I'm ashamed. My programming failed me to remember his name.
He was really good. The one moment where it looked like he's gonna turn into a vampire, but it's just like he didn't have anything to eat, and of course we were drinking the whole time. And he eat something else to throw up. That was funny.
Yeah.
That garlic scene was a funny scene where that girl like refused to eat the garlic. Just eat the fucking garlic. There's vampires out there. I know you don't like it. Just eat it. That was a funny scene.
No, it's okay.
Well, something that this movie reminds me of another movie. I don't know if you have seen it, Dusk Till Dawn. That's a movie directed by Robert Rodriguez, and it actually stars George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, I think as half brothers, who also come into a Mexican establishment, and during the day it's just a bar, and then at night everybody turns into vampires, and it turns into this crazy vampire movie. So that's what it really reminded me of. But I do think that this has to be like, it's on par with it, but I really do think that this movie like deserves some Oscar nominations because the performances was great. Talking about a great performance, Mouse Catton, I think his name is, who plays Sammy Moore, the main character.
Ooh, yeah, he was good.
Or like he's kind of the main character.
Yeah.
Of course, Michael B. Jordan is the lead, but the second lead and the first billed actor is Mouse Catton, who plays Sammy Moore, who's like this really good blues musician whose father is a preacher, so they call him Preacher Boy. And the main villain, Remick, is after him because Remick is a vampire who loves music. And what did you think of him? Because it was literally Mouse Catton. It was his first performance ever. He was great, right?
Yeah, he was really great. I really like the ominous, like, looming threat he pulls up, you know, like.
No, you're talking about Remick. I'm talking about like Mouse Catton, the main, the young black actor who was doing his first performance, the singer.
Oh, yeah. Like he really pulled off that young, innocent, rising musician thing, while also being very traumatized at the end.
At the end, he is messed up by Remick.
He's fucked up for like Jesus Christ, and he still does music. That's hard, if you ask me. Like the character, I really love the character, and for a new actor in a big screen movie like this one,
he really
sold. He really sold it.
He really got a great opportunity by Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, because they probably chose this kid, and they chose the right kid because he had a beautiful voice, he could sing really good, and he also had the acting chops. And I think for a first time performance, for a debut, I don't think you can get anything better. And I am really interested what this actor is going to do more. And another person who was pretty cool, I didn't even know who this actress was, but also Haley Steinfeld is in this, and she's from True Grit, and she's like the little girl from True Grit who's like haunting their parents. I don't know if the people who killed her parents. So yeah, that was pretty dope. They also got Jack O'Connell in here, who's playing the villain. Jack O'Connell plays Remick, who is the main bad guy of the movie.
Ooh, yeah.
And damn, I thought that he was really good and creepy with his songs. What did you think of the villain, Remick? And what was his goal? Like, he was just trying to turn everybody into a vampire, and he only wanted to have Sammy Moore because he could sing it? Or do you think there was also like an underlying thing going on there?
I think there was some dark forces meddling with the human psyche, because even the most loyal person like Stack, who was the twin brother of Smoke, both played by Michael B. Jordan, by the way. Props to that motherfucker for playing two people at once. It's like that force of like being a vampire can turn even him.
You.
Yeah, he could
control your mind,
and he could turn even someone as loyal as Stack into a mindless, obeying puppet, and to just attack his brother. Yeah,
because he turns in, but he still has like the character of it.
Yeah,
because Mary is the first person, who's played by Haley Steinfeld, is the first person to get bitten by Remick when she goes out there to talk to them, and they do this song, and then he starts drooling. That was a creepy scene.
The first
when Mary went out there for the first time, like she's the first one to get turned, and that was a really dope scene. Then she gets invited in by Cornbread, and then
she bites Stack.
Stack becomes a vampire, and she fucks him.
Yeah, and then they go.
Oh, that's the number one reason I think Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan chose to play twins so he can have the sex scenes with two different women. He's a dirty dog.
No, it's for character.
It's for character.
For development.
He just wants.
They both need to find love.
He got a thick black woman, and he also got a skinny white girl.
Yeah.
But she's half, I guess.
She's mixed.
Is she really mixed?
Yeah, she's mixed. She looks like it too. She looks like mixed, if you ask me.
But that's like the underlying reason he chose to get to a double roll. But the Stack gets turned after that. Cornbread goes for a piss. That was funny. He was like taking a piss, and then he hears something, and then he stops peeing, and then he starts peeing again, and then he hears something, he stops.
I do have to say this though, like characters were kind of they were not really. Well,
it wasn't a horror movie.
No, not at all.
It's not a horror movie.
I do think the characters were kind of stupid in those facts, like especially when the character played by Steinfeld, when she went out, she just sat next to them like
dumb.
Yeah, she just looked out. They greeted them at the door at first.
Yeah, and then they said no.
Yeah, and with under the pretense.
But Danesh L. Jackson is the smartest one of all, right? She was the lady who was like, you have to chew garlic.
She was the voice of reason.
She was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
It was also funny when Cornbread was trying to get in, and she was like, "Why don't you walk in yourself?" With
your big head.
You can push us both aside, easy. And he's like, "No, just invite me in." That was a good scene. I think that the guy who played Cornbread, I forget his name, but I think I know him from like some Disney type of stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
He was good in it.
Yeah.
He gets turned. Then Danesh L. Jackson's character,
Yeah, then the thing that I like as well is that they look normal.
Yeah.
But once the pretense is down, the illusion of their like pristine human face.
That's what happened with Micheal, right? Because the husband of the other, you have Bo Chow who gets turned, who's the husband of the other...
Of the Chinese lady.
Yeah, the Chinese lady.
Yeah.
He gets turned and then he sees that Cornbread is eating something and he's like, oh, he's just hungry. Like there's nothing weird going on. But that's also a reason how they all get in there, because at a certain moment they have these conversations with all of the vampires, because of course they have to ask for permission to go into the bar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's also kind of stupid, because 2 times there was a vampire in the bar and they just ran out.
Yeah.
Like they just ran out. They could have just stayed in the bar. Like Mary and Stack, they both just run out. Stack, it makes more sense because he has like holy water or garlic water in front of him. But I don't know why Mary runs out. Maybe just to play the game, I guess. But I don't know what I was saying actually.
Well, I think like the conclusion I can pull from that though is the only reason the vampires went in or got in.
They got in because she said everybody can come in, because they threatened her daughter.
Come in, get me. Yeah. They threatened her daughter, which pissed her off a lot.
And she wanted to throw a Molotov, and they were stopping her.
Yeah.
And she even told her, like, hey, they killed your brother, they're gonna kill my daughter.
Yeah.
You're like a little bitch. And then they were stopping her from talking, and then she yelled, "You are welcome to come in, motherfuckers!"
Yeah.
That was a great line. I love that.
It was.
And it was exactly what a mother would do in that situation, because, I don't know, you want to protect your child, even though she got killed immediately. But I think at the end of the day, she did save her daughter. I think so, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, she died immediately after.
But then all hell breaks loose. That's like the final 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They destroy everything, and yeah. I think that's exactly what Remick wanted. And so Remick, he wants Sammy more, which is a little bit of like, it can be seen as symbolism of the devil, selling your soul to the devil for music for eternal life, which is like an old story, right?
Everybody to dance in a circle where everybody's unified. So like in a weird kind of way.
He wants to unify everybody in his like little vampire cult.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly. And he was gonna, in a weird way, like he did accept the people, but he also took away what made them unique, which was their freedom.
Yeah, but he just wanted their abilities.
He just wanted them to join in his dance, and they also only played his songs.
Kind of a hive mind.
Yeah, kind of a hive mind.
He wanted to get Sammy, because then he would get more songs.
He would get the gospel that Sammy could invoke into people.
But also his musical abilities.
Yeah, his musical abilities. Like we keep hearing, like Sammy has this talent that he could really get the blues.
Yeah, he has the blues in him, for sure, man. That voice alone is the blues.
Yeah, even the end credit scene, the second one, not the first one.
Oh yeah, well let's get into the end credits later, but so let's skip a little bit of the stuff. Let's get towards the ending.
Yeah.
Because at the end, Remy almost turns Sammy. Remick almost turns Sammy into a vampire.
Yeah. Just as the sun is coming up.
He hits him in the face with his guitar, and he almost kills him then. But I think it's Stack who stabs him in the back.
Yeah.
To at the end make him like turn into a fire Voldemort type situation and float away. So that's the ending, and then Sammy runs home to his father's house, and then you get this little cool montage of the whole day of what happened, and you see like a little bit Stack putting everything together, that the house was sold to him basically as like a slaughterhouse, because the KKK would show up, and Remick also told him that they were going to show up the next day, and he just goes full soldier.
Rambo's the fuck up,
gets off his guns. But I think that something else, because that scene was great where he just mows everybody down, but I think one of the most effective scenes is the moment that you have the montage of him just being an entrepreneur, making this thing happen, realizing his potential, creating something beautiful for his people, creating something beautiful for his friends, family, and for his culture. And that was just and that just made it so much more sad that all of those people are gone now. Because of Remick, who just wanted selfishly to just own the soul of Sammy.
To own to gather people around.
There's also some symbolism in that, and I think they were trying to say that, right?
Yeah. Like the music is definitely a big theme because during like I'm gonna go back a little bit more towards the right before the middle, I think.
When they have the
when they have the little swing party going on.
That was so good.
Yeah, with Sammy like getting the blues and playing his guitar in the juke, and that suddenly the time crosses by, like time warps, like you suddenly have in this like cavalcade of visual feast that
you have,
you
like,
see
every
80s
different era.
hip-hop. Yes, you see modern day hip hop.
That was so good. That was one of the best scenes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have 60s, like the whole thing like going on with jazz and shit.
Yeah.
Jazz wasn't. I don't think jazz was invented.
I think everything disco. But that moment was really dope. And then you see them dance, and I think that the whole barn is gone. So the house is gone, just see them moving. I thought it was a great moment. But let's talk about the ending where Smoke, he kills all of the KKK guys. But in the midst of it, he also gets shot.
In the abdomen.
He gets shot in the abdomen.
Yeah.
And
bleeds profusely.
Yeah. But basically has like this gladiator moment where he's talking to his wife and his like baby in the afterlife. And they have the gang leaders like, please let me live, I got money. And then it was so stupid, he should have just shut the fuck up and then he would have lived. But then, yeah, that was so fun, that was so dumb, he should have shut up, right?
No, you're gonna die, my friend.
If he would have just had said nothing, Smoke would have probably just died in peace.
You should have said like, you want a cigarette? You want to smoke, boy?
He just gave him he already gave him a cigarette. He basically was forgetting that he existed.
Yeah.
If he would have just shut up, then probably he would have made it. But of course it's better that he died because fuck the KKK, you know, fuck that dude. But if he would have just shut the fuck up, then he would have still been alive. But yeah, you don't want to have a piece of shit like that around, right?
No, it's better off without him.
No.
Yeah. I'd rather have vampires than KKK.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't mind being a vampire. Talking about vampires, the mid-credit scene shows off that Stack is still alive together with Mary, and they're together and they like each other now as vampires. They have a vampire relationship.
Yeah, they survived like at the end, like towards the end, after Sammy and smoked fucking Merrick.
Yeah.
So
Remick. Yeah.
Shit. Remick. After they smoked Remick and he died, the sun came up and killed like the horde they have accumulated. But what we didn't see, like right before that, Smoke was seen like on top of Stack, who he was about to kill with the stake through the heart, because that's one of the ways you could kill it. And then they kind of left you in suspense, like, oh, did he do it?
Did he do it? Did he not do it?
Did he fucking do it? Yeah. Because it's his baby brother. He was like really torn between that, and he had to fight him all the while. So like after that, you know, like they kind of left that, like they didn't conclude that until later on. And then what son came up.
He let him live because he promised to not go after Sammy more.
Yeah, he made him promise to not go after Sammy, to let him live a full life.
Yeah.
And apparently,
Sammy became he became like a well-known musician over the years.
Yeah.
Because you see him when he's older, and he's actually played by Buddy Guy, like a successful blues musician who actually inspired a bunch of people. I got it here somewhere. Like, yeah, here. He's played by George Buddy Guy. He's an American blues guitarist and singer. He's an exponent of Chicago blues who has influenced generations of guitarists, including Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Keith Richards, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jeff Beck, Gary Clark Jr., and John Mayer. So he's being played by like a legend in the blues game, in the musical game overall. And I thought that montage during the credits where they were showing his career was just really dope. And just to see that this, you know, the character of Sammy Moore has a good ending, but he's sitting in a bar and his security asks him like, hey, there's two people, they want to see you, is that okay? And he lets him in. And there's his Stack and Mary, and I just thought the drip on Stack, he had the Biggie Small sweater, and was he wearing a golden Jesus piece? No, right?
No,
he was wearing a golden chain. Maybe he just looked drippy as hell, man.
Yeah, you look
Mary
like a character
too. Mary was bad.
Yeah, you look like a character from Empire, that fucker. Like
they both look bad. They look
bad.
really good. And So they ask him, they give him the proposition like, would you want to be a vampire? And Sammy is just like, nah. And then they ask him to play a song for them, like some of the old blues, because they say like, we bought every single record, but we don't like the new stuff as much as the original. But do you still have the original? And then he plays them a song again. And it's just the music in this movie that is just so beautiful. It's just such a well-made piece of art. Like, I really appreciate this film, and I hope it gets all of the nominations and all of the Oscar praise. Or even better yet, I hope this film is financially successful. I really recommend everybody to watch this, because this movie is just culture, man. This movie is just a great film.
It's culture. It's great cinema. It's great cinematography. It's great
movie stars, new actors,
like great actors you even haven't heard of before.
Well, the Sammy, what's his?
At least
Miles Catton. He's great.
Yeah. Good.
But Michael B. Jordan, he's like a movie star in my opinion. Like, this movie is just showing me, he already was a movie star, but this is just showing me that he can make something like this happen, and I hope it's successful. And I want to see more of this type of stuff from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, which is really great, and also Miles Catton. But, then you also get the other post-credit scene where you just get Sammy Moore playing some guitar
in the church, like with pre-Scar.
Pre-Scar. Early days.
So you know it's before the debacle.
Oh, that was such a beautiful. When he asked Stag, what that day was the most beautiful day in my life. Was it also like that for you? Then he was just talking about like how it was, how it felt, that everybody just coming together and creating something so beautiful like that. Nothing better than making a great party, you know. It was just such a. It was also so heartbreaking, you know.
It was really fucking sad, especially when all those colorful characters got fucking vampirized and killed off.
Okay. So I just had to put some more memory in it, because we've been talking for a long time. But yeah, we were talking about how beautiful it was and the memories they were making, and the Sammy Moore post-credit scene at the end of the movie. I thought it was worth it. I thought it was just put a smile on my face, because this kid, Miles Catton, he's just so talented. What were you saying? Do you still remember?
Shit. You know, like it's just like it doesn't seem like it has plans for the sequel. Like, it doesn't really seem like it wants to.
I would watch a sequel with Stack and Mary. Like, I wouldn't mind like the two of them like teaming up and going on a little adventure where they run a nightclub or something cool like that. Or maybe like a revenge movie, maybe Mary gets killed and then Stack goes on a revenge tour or whatever.
Some vampire hunters, I mean, like, if vampires are there for
vampire hunters, time,
like they probably should have.
I was thinking Blade would show up in the
blood sprinklers.
Sorry.
Fucking shows up with a fucking katana. That's a fucking awesome.
Motherfucker's always trying to escape up in here. I think that's a line. And I haven't seen Blade. I still want to watch Blade. But there's only one Blade. There only ever will be one Blade. But that's a good line. But I thought it was a great film. I really enjoyed it. And I am just really happy that we watched something that wasn't a sequel. It wasn't. Was this something original?
It wasn't a reboot. It wasn't a remaster. It wasn't based off of a story. So you kind of had the pipeline and the foundation for something.
You were saying that a little bit about Ryan Coogler. He also wrote about what it was, right?
Huh?
I thought that Coogler also described this film like he made it isn't. Coogler said that it wasn't based on a true story or prior existing IP.
It was based on his heritage, on his Uncle James, who was the oldest male family member in his family. Who also lived in Mississippi. So like that's kind of where the ties came. What he based the story on a little.
Like Mississippi in the 1930s.
Depression era America, after World War I, about to go into World War II. That kind of thing. And that he might have. That I think, based on what he says to NBC News, that he might have heritage in that area. And that he basically put so much love and interest and like hard work in this work of art.
Yeah.
That's probably like the greatest motivator for him, in that sense, that maybe like there is so much love in it because it's so close to
You
home.
could feel
to
the
him.
love. It was so.
You could
it was,
feel the love.
You could really feel like the handprints of this director.
Yeah.
It was a lot of attention to detail. I really enjoyed this
He
film.
also wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty because the movie is kind of fucked up in a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's kind of injustice of like working in a cornfield and just ending up being vampire food, and that's pretty fucked up.
It kind of has a bad ending, but at the same time, that for Sammy Moore, it works out in the end.
Yeah.
So that is a good ending, but for a lot of people, there is an underlying tone of sadness that leaves the movie. So it's not like all sunshine and rainbows, but sometimes fucked up shit happens to good people.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
Yeah, they just wallow in their sorrows into the sunset. They don't skip into the sunset.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sammy Moore is still messed up by, for sure.
Yeah. And like I like what his father said at the beginning, like if you keep dancing with the devil, he's gonna follow you home. And then and then
happened.
Yeah, exactly. And he still accepted his son. Of course he did. But like even after all of that, you know, like the sentimental moments that he shared with Stack and Smoke, that his love for the same music
I'm happy that he was still playing music, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also the reason why he still played it in his old age at the end.
Yeah.
And like that the sentimental moments between him, Stack and Smoke, and their love for the music that he's playing.
The camera has got to stop, man.
Fuck!
We have to do the outro now.
Damn, okay.
My fellow Doombots, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching this YouTube video, and I hope you enjoyed.
The camera's gonna die like any second.
Shit, okay, this is fucking Outlast.
But
man.
I really appreciate you coming on and talking about Sinners. We watched it yesterday in theater. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
But for now, we're just gonna wish our fellow Doombots, have yourself a happy Doomsday, and Doombot out. And there will be a link to another video here somewhere. And maybe in the future, you'll join, of course, to do something else. And that's it for now. Doombot out and have yourself a happy Doomsday. Ciao. Peace.
Peace.
Okay.
Fucking nice.